Hello and welcome to News 9. I'm Nishtha, and first up, at least 20 people have reportedly been killed and more than 100 others injured when a New Delhi-Gorakhpur-Gorakhpur Superfast Express met with an accident near Uttar Pradesh Sant Kabir Nagar. According to initial reports, the accident took place between Sant Kabir Nagar and Khalilabad when speeding Gorakhdam Express derailed and collided with the passing freight train. Narendra Modi has reacted to the train accident on Twitter, and this is what he went on to state. Well, in fact, he said, and I quote, "My condolences to families of those who lost their lives in the Gorakhdam Express tragedy. Prayers with the injured." Spoke to the cabinet secretary, asked him to take an overview of the situation and ensure timely assistance to those injured. My colleague Varghese joins us with more details on this. Well, Varghese, what more can you tell us about this horrific accident?
Well, at least 20 people are feared dead in this particular accident, Nishchita. And what happened was this express, in fact, crashed into a stationary goods train at Cherub railway station in Sant Kabir Nagar in Uttar Pradesh. And this was on platform 1 where the incident took place. The express train was traveling from Gorakhpur to Hisar via New Delhi. And the reason for the crash is yet to be established, like why this occurred. And what we know at present is that around 4 to 5 coaches, especially from the S7 to S12 is what they are speculating, have tilted and fallen away from the tracks. And now it's the rescue work is also undergoing. There are a lot of local people who, in fact, are helping the district administration to ensure that they'll be able to help along with the rescue operations. And this is at present the district administration is also calling in the home guards as well as other rescue agencies where they will be able to pull out people. Now another issue is that the coaches are hanging in a very awkward situation, and some of them, if it tilts because of the rescue operation, could actually create more damage. And the Uttar Pradesh district administration is in fact trying to ensure that the names of the people can also be traced and the relatives can be informed with regards to it. Now they've in fact flashed out 2-3 numbers with regards to this particular accident, and have asked people to contact those numbers. Now they are also going through the passenger list, especially with specifically to these coaches S7 to S12, to find out who are the passengers inside this particular coaches, and also to trace their families, Nishita.
Right, and also we can see quite graphic scenes that are being witnessed. Any reports into what exactly led to the accident in the first place? Why the train derailed?
Well, at present there are several speculations with regards to it, Nishchita. Some of them are saying that the inborn system, where the internal system, in fact, which highlights that there's another train on the particular platform failed in the passenger train. That is one thing that is being highlighted, and also there is also being speculations with regards to the station master giving wrong commands with regard to which platform the particular train should have arrived at. So these are the two speculations that are doing the round, but still investigations are to be conducted further to find out what is the exact reason, whether it was the misinformation from the station master or whether the system failure is responsible for it, Nishita.
Right, thank you for joining us with all those details there, Varghese. And moving on, now finally the day has come and Narendra Modi is all set to take oath as the Prime Minister of the country. The Modi Sarkar will have 24 cabinet rank ministers, 11 ministers of state and 10 independent charges who will be sworn in today. Modi is likely to keep the defence ministry with himself, while Rajnath and Sushma will get home and external affairs respectively. Modi has chosen the Rashtrapati Bhavan forecourt as the venue for the swearing-in ceremony. Generally, the swearing-in is held at the historic Darbar Hall of the Parliament. The only 2 previous instances when it was held in the forecourt was in 1990 when Chandrasekhar became the Prime Minister, and in 1998 when Atal Bihari Vajpayee was sworn in as the Prime Minister of the BJP-led NDA government. Earlier called the Viceroy Court, the forecourt leads to 31 broad steps which lead to the portico of the Rashtrapati Bhavan, where stands the bull capital of an Ashoka pillar. Massive ground-to-air security arrangements have been made for Narendra Modi's swearing-in. The area around Rashtrapati Bhavan and other areas in Lutyens, Delhi have been turned into a fortress. While the Delhi police is primarily responsible for providing security cover, special team commandos and paramilitary forces are also included among 7,000 personnel on duty. 2 unmanned aerial vehicle drones will hover over the Rashtrapati Bhavan accompanied by anti-aircraft guns on ground. The security arrangements are on the lines of Republic Day, with the Army, Air Force and other intelligence agencies assisting the Delhi police. Well, in fact, the countdown has begun, and in just about 4 hours, Narendra Modi will be officially taking charge as the Prime Minister of the country. And well, the cabinet ministers, looks like the cabinet is finally taking shape and we're getting some confirmation on certain fronts. Sushma Swaraj will be getting External Affairs Ministry, although initially it was speculated that she could be given the defence portfolio. Narendra Modi might be retaining that for himself. Arun Jaitley, as it has been told from the very beginning, was the front runner for the finance portfolio. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Rajnath Singh, who is currently the BJP national chief, could be given the home ministry. Well, Arun Jaitley, there we have it. And then we have Rajnath Singh, who will be given the home ministry portfolio. There were some options placed before Rajnath Singh, and it was speculated from the very beginning that home could go to the BJP national chief. Dr. Harshvardhan could be given the health ministry. Dr. Harshvardhan is the man who made BJP proud from Chandni Chowk constituency. And then there is Nitin Gadkari, the former BJP chief, who might be given the transport ministry portfolio, although it was said that it will be an overall portfolio which includes aviation and railways. Ravi Shankar Prasad might be getting information and broadcasting as well as law ministry portfolio. Anand Kumar, the Bangalore South MP, might be given the parliamentary affairs portfolio. He is one of the most senior leaders in the BJP and is a 5-time MP. GM Siddeshwar, another pride for Karnataka there, who is the Davangere MP, might be given the Minister of State portfolio. These are some of the more prominent names and probably some confirmations as well. D.V. Sadananda Gowda, the former Chief Minister of the state and also the Bangalore North MP, could be given the railways portfolio, although initially speculated that the railways too will come under Nitin Gadkari's transport ministry. Looks like there might be a certain amount of demarcation that Narendra Modi would like to put in. Narendra Modi, as we know, he has expressed in the past he wants to sail a tight ship. He wants just about a few important ministers to be in his cabinet so that there is no misgovernance in any way. Lesser the number of officials, better the governance is what Narendra Modi believes in, and that's exactly what he has gone on to prove with this list of 24 cabinet ministers. Apart from these ministers, there will be 10 ministers of state and 11 ministers of state with independent charges. Well, in fact, the cabinet ministry of Narendra Modi will have himself leading it, as we know, and then there will be Sushma Swaraj, Tawar Chand Gehlot, Smriti Irani, and moving on now, Narendra Modi is likely to take his oath in Sanskrit today, is what is being stated. In doing this, he will be the first Prime Minister to take his oath in Sanskrit. It appears that he had Gujarati, Hindi and Sanskrit as his options, but sources tell us that he just might choose the Sanskrit option. Well, Narendra Modi's big preparations have been on since the morning. Earlier today, in the wee hours of the day, in fact, he visited Rajghat, as he had informed through his tweet last night. He paid respect to Mahatma Gandhi. He was accompanied by BJP leaders like Dr. Harshvardhan as well as Meenakshi Lekhi. And now the latest information arriving is that Narendra Modi might be taking his oath in Sanskrit. If he does take his oath in Sanskrit, he will be the very first Prime Minister of the country to be doing so. He was given 3 options with Hindi, Sanskrit and Gujarati. My colleague Nolan joins us with more details on this. Well, Nolan, what more can you tell us?
Well, it's pretty interesting here that he had 3 options, Nishita, either Gujarati, Hindi and Sanskrit. But sources are telling us that he might just go ahead and take the oath in Sanskrit. But let's talk about certain important things here. Now, people say that if he had gone ahead and taken the oath in Gujarati, that couldn't have been an option right now because he has already projected his image as a national leader. Now, we must also remember that his speech at Vadodara after his victory showed that he sees Gujarati as a launchpad or a cradle of his political and leadership-related learning. And basically, he sees his present role as a broadened one. So we are told that he will definitely like to keep all his symbols in line with that. So the other 2 options were Hindi and Sanskrit as plausible options. Now, analysts say that why he would have chosen Sanskrit now, and if he goes ahead with this, is that Hindi is our national language and the only language established as the language of the masses. Now, a person basically, say for example, traveling from Delhi to Hyderabad via train, especially in the sleeper class, can feel this. Now, Hindi is the language that they speak. So they say that, and not forgetting the fact that Hindi-speaking states have actually given the BJP about 95 to 100% majority to them. But Sanskrit is, for them, a sacred language of Hinduism. And apart from that, it is stated that the language is one from which virtually all Indian language borrow their vocabulary. So he is trying to look into symbolism over here, and that's one of the reasons why it is stated that he might just take his oath in Sanskrit.
That's right, and also, as you rightly mentioned, it's a very symbolic move on part of Narendra Modi. While on one hand, he is desperately trying to build up that secular image, even as he gets into this new phase of his life of becoming the Prime Minister. On the other hand, he wants to take the old India along with him, the traditional India along with him. Sanskrit, many would speculate that it is one of the languages that is not getting as much popularity as it was in the past in India, but now with Narendra Modi taking oath in Sanskrit, it is a very, very symbolic gesture.
Extremely symbolic. In fact, if I have to explain it in this way, taking the oath in Sanskrit simply means connecting directly to the same tradition of 5,000 or more years. And speaking Sanskrit even today connects to one of the older traditional readily because there is no change in the language on account of time span. So he's basically looking into symbolism over here. The sacred language of Hinduism, it's been a language that has not changed. There has been no sort of rut, no influence into it. So it's all about symbolism over here.
Right. Thank you, Nolan, for joining us with all those details. Well, there we have it. The reports indicate that Narendra Modi is all likely to take oath in Sanskrit, and if he does so, he will be the very first Prime Minister to be doing that.